We did it. We're back. We're talking about blowing noses and
other things,
some potential fluids, and 2 out of 3 are back, but it's a different one this time. We got the new dad, Brandon J. McDermott. Looks like you got a little bit of sleep. I'm not saying you're looking well rested, you're looking bad, or you're looking good, but you look like a little bit rested.
My wife and I have a good plan. We had 2 children. This is our third one. We had 2 children. Both of them within about 2 to 3, 4 weeks were sleeping 5 to 6 hours a night. So it was a little different. But we used to do okay, I'll feed them at 8, you feed them at midnight, and I'll feed them at 4. Okay, like thing, and it worked. But with this one, I said, you know what, I get 2 weeks off of work, and so why don't I'll do the overnight shift. You do the the day shift. So 6 to 6, 6 to 6, and so I was doing 6 at night till 6 in the morning, bro. And like, ooh. I was the problem was the only problem I ran into was last week. One of my first days back, that night I couldn't get to bed till about 2, and then the baby was going nuts, and my wife was having a tough time. You get a baby, you get a, I can't even show you, like a 12 to 15 inch, wound that's just cut across your insides, baby ripped out of you, and then you're sewed up, and then try to heal up, and 2 weeks later you're still hurting, right? It's the way it works.
That's just the physical stuff. That's not even talking the hormonal stuff and all the other stuff that the women do get from the pregnancy. Yeah, it's a
anyway.
Then sprinkle in the other 2 kids, because they got their own wants and needs too. Because let's be honest, every time you get a new, obviously the baby is not a toy, but when kids get a new toy, the next thing you know, it's awesome at first. Then the toy just gets thrown in the corner and collected dust. So I have to imagine new baby in the house was really cool and exciting. But when new baby cries a lot and you can't really do much with new baby, it's probably going to wear off and be like, start that sibling rivalry already.
Well, we had I apologize. There was one moment I had where I'm holding the baby. He's hungry. He's crying. My oldest child ran into the doorknob or something and was crying. My middle child is just standing in the living room coloring, going, ah!
Oh, no.
And I thought to myself, we wanted 3 of these little bastards? We wanted 3 of these?
Not to discourage you, but there has been times where we have had all 3 and the wife just crying for no reason in our house as well. And they're much older than yours. I don't know what it is. Women, you guys are a different kind of species. But we love you. We can't live without you. But goddamn.
It's tough, man. It's tough. But no, but things are going well. Now what we've switched over to do is at night we had the in-laws here for 2 weeks, so that was great. But at night now I take the baby from 6 to midnight, and she takes it midnight to 6. So she at least gets 6 straight hours of sleep, which is that's good. What you need. You need at least 4.
Baby sleeps decent. Good enough for baby, or
3.5 hours is about the max he'll go.
Huh, that's not terrible. Could be worse. I know my kid was not a sleeper.
Yeah, but the good news is like all I have to do is just put him on his belly and hold him right here. And I'm not sleeping, so it doesn't. I can feel him breathing.
Yep. So how's the carpal tunnel from scrolling while having the baby? Because you get extra cell phone time. You pick up any new app.
I'm using a different hand now. It's
hey.
Like, wow. So.
Yeah, I don't envy that. I just put in my brain the other day when you had the baby. I'm like, I couldn't imagine starting over.
Well, the thing is, many folks choose not to have children, and we call them smart. Some people have them early, and we make fun of them. You had a baby when you were 17? Well, yeah, now she's 37, and she's having vacations every weekend. Because she doesn't worry about it. We waited till we were 35, and so our lives are over.
And it's a good thing though at that point, because you guys, you know what I mean, financially in a good spot where it's a much different life that the child in a different upbringing. Because like you said, if you have a kid when you're young, you're not making much money. You're starting off smaller houses, apartments, this and that. You're kind of struggling to get by. You're stressing. It's a lot different. I don't know the psychology aspect of it, but I have to imagine having a kid a little bit later, probably is going to lead to a less stressful, potentially better life. So that's what it's about, right?
Yeah, it is, and I mean, for the record, like I will do this on the radio show too. I'll complain a little bit. People are like, "Are you all right?" I'm like, you realize that's a character, right? You realize like, yes, we jokingly say, "I got to go back to the ball and chain," but I love that woman more than any of you and anybody in the whole world. You know, like she's what completes me and makes me feel good. And so,
Mm-hmm.
anyway, things are good. It's just the dealing with the changing, being tired, being not tired, getting sleep, not getting sleep thing.
Yep. Which temporary is exhaustion, but everybody always says, "Oh, time flies by, doesn't it? Look at the baby." I was like, you know what? When my child was very young, time did not fly by. It felt like the first 3 years of her life took forever, which isn't a bad thing. But now time is really flying by. So it's, like I obviously coach youth sports in the grade that she's in. This is going to be the last, we got like 2 or 3 weeks left, and then she's done in basketball. Then we do softball, youth softball. But then after softball, she's into school sports, where it's, ran a little bit more serious, still on a have fun, but, modified style level. But that stuff's starting to fly by. The oldest is varsity sports. It's crazy.
Like you're in the middle of it, man, but you're not going to be forever, right? So
Yeah.
that's what they I mean. They say enjoy it, right? Because it's once it's gone, it's gone,
Mm-hmm.
and you'll miss. You'll not to put you in that spot, but you'll be sitting here in this seat right here. You'll turn 90 degrees over to the wall, and you'll see that whistle hanging on the wall, and you'll bring those memories. Will come back, So it's tough. It's an entire waster of weekends. I'm sure I haven't had to deal with that part of it yet as a parent. The sports and activities the kids are involved in is what he's talking about.
Yep.
But it's like usually like everything else. Nothing is as good as you think it is, and as bad as you think it is. And when the tough, frustrating times are gone, you usually look back on them fondly or laugh. Right.
Mm-hmm. Yep, like and that's why Euban's not here. He is sitting in a gym, probably, getting a new hemorrhoid, and if he does use roid rage, we got a code in the link in the description. But yeah, sitting in a gym, concession stand food. We've talked about the last couple of weeks. We started doing a thing because we've been in so many gyms where we were starting to just rank concession stands because we've been in so many goddamn. He had one that like pulled pork and stuff. I mean, we're lucky up here to maybe get a hot dog.
Jeez. Yeah.
Yeah, but so that's where he is today. One of his kids has a tournament, and it's one of those things for anybody that knows tournaments. You could lose and be done early, or if you make it all the way, you're there from 8 in the morning till potentially 6 or 7 at night. But at least at the time of the recording, you don't get the day off. I don't get the day off. Have to imagine Euban doesn't either. But up here, all the kids are off for their midwinter break. So
I need to move to New York. Or should have lived in upstate New York. My God, that sounds wonderful.
okay, with that being said, we are in the middle of a storm warning, and we've already got 4 feet of snow. We're going to get 2 more, so I think you're going to retract that statement.
Wow, bro. How much do you have to worry about, like, the snow on top of your houses and stuff like that?
It's a worry, not for me, but a lot of people in the area. You actually have to, and this might sound dumb to some people, especially in warmer states, but you buy roof rakes. So you can stand on the ground, and they're heavy, they're hard to work, but you have to get the weight off of the roof. My pitch on my roof is more or less, I don't know what shape that would be for anybody just listening. It is like very, very steep. So there's no way that the snow can actually build up on it.
We call that
Which
a triangle. I'm kidding.
well, I was thinking like to describe it as like a teepee or something.
Right, I know.
But then TP sounds like toilet paper, and my brain was giggling inside because I'm a child. But yeah, actually, a buddy of mine, we got together last night, had a couple of drinks. He's like, "Hey, man, sorry I couldn't get here. I had to not only shovel my roof off, but then I had to go to my mom's house and this and that, and it was just the weather is brutal." But I tell you what, my nephews and them, they got a hockey tournament at the time of the recording, and they are like an hour and a half away in complete whiteout condition. Hour and a half with a normal drive.
Wow.
It's going to be a very long ride home, and they wouldn't cancel the tournament. Like, these hockey things are just unbelievable around here. Granted, we're on the Canadian border, so they take their hockey up here pretty serious. But I mean, not to cancel a tournament knowing ahead of time that it's going to be. And there's one team that's probably 3 to 4 hours away on good roads, and they are going to have a brutal ride home.
Yeah, I can only imagine. I will say this though. You talked about Euban earning a new hemorrhoid sitting on the bench. I could not do what you guys do and be coaches. I could not be like, God damn it, Jessica, I said aim for the square. Like I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. Stop, you're
it's
crying.
yeah, there's a lot to it. I'm very thankful because I've coached the same kids in pretty much three sports since they were very like second and third grade. So they get me, I get them, and I've just learned so much, not only about myself but about the game. And I'm very grateful the kind of the district that I'm working in the youth thing. The varsity coach in basketball is just a legend. He is one of the most funny, sarcastic but brilliant brains, and just to be able to bounce ideas and kind of lead from his example of how he runs his team and how he wants it all the way down has made my life so much easier. And the parent group that I have, they're awesome. Like you've probably heard the Karen stories, seen the videos on all the socials of like parents freaking out at matches. We have a great parent group. There's no issues. They're just like, hey, you're in it for the right reasons. Maybe it's because we're successful and their kids are continually getting better and better each year that they don't really have. There's probably I do things wrong sometimes. Let's be honest, we're human.
Sure.
But it's kind of the stars align for me in the group that I have, and it's pretty sweet. But like you said, it is tough because the youth sports are around here and in the country. I mean, from the videos you see, there are some moments that are unbelievable. I mean, coaches, parents getting thrown out of gyms, and it's just like it's
Wild.
not a good scene.
Yeah, it's mind boggling. You hear about it. I've seen it a little bit in the baseball and softball world. Do you find it? I don't know if you do much of that up there, but I would assume that the heckling from parents is worse at baseball and softball games because you're outside. You're not in. Yeah, you're on probably public property. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're in a gym, you can get kicked out of a gym. Sure, you can get kicked out of the stands. The ump can go get out of here, but I'm going to walk back to the parking lot. Yeah, I'm out of here. Kind of a thing. Like,
See,
what
for
are your thoughts?
us, softball, I do softball as well. I've only had one real bad incident, and it was with other coaches kind of having meltdowns. The parents, they'll chirp here or there, but we do a pretty good job of shutting it up because we have more or less kids are doing the umpires, and so you go to some other places, these kids are probably 10 to 12 years old playing, and sometimes you have a 13 or 14-year-old umping just because they're volunteers. Maybe they get $20, their parents like, hey, you're going to ump. So I don't tolerate parents screaming at kids who are umps. If it's a little different and they're like for the playoffs, the final four, we have certified umpires that come in. They know how to handle that stuff. But you're not going to just chirp. I'm thankful enough where I'll reach out and get varsity kids, 17, 18-year-old kids that know the game a little bit better and have a little bit of a, thicker skin, I guess is the saying.
Sure.
But yeah, you're not. I've had people freak out on 14-year-old kids, and I'm like, nope, you got to leave, buddy.
Right.
My ultimate move is hold on, and I'll make a timeout, timeout, timeout. I'll take the umpire gear, I'll take the face mask, I'll take the chest protector, and I'll walk it over to him, and I go, hey, here you go. This game will not start until you volunteer your time. You are now the umpire. You clearly know the game well enough, and you're yelling at a child, which is a charge in the state of New York, but this game will not start until you get out there. If you want a couple practice pitches to get a feel for it, let us know. And the last time I did that to somebody, they go, point taken. I apologize, and I will not say another word. And they
Yeah.
didn't.
I mean, I get it. Your kids out there, you want them to do well. You don't want them to be cheated. You probably view the world through the skew of somebody's out to get you, or you're ultra critical of even the closest calls. These are humans, mostly here volunteering. Maybe they're making $20. Like,
Yeah.
it's not rookie ball. We're not talking about your kid got signed a $6,000 signing bonus and now he's playing, for some team with bananas on their hats. Like these are kids having fun, learning fundamentals. Half of these kids won't even play another sport in their life.
Yeah,
So
and most of them won't even go on to the next level of modified, let alone then go to potential JV, varsity, and 90-something% of athletes don't play college because it's a tough world, like you said, and you're not getting them to love the game by screaming at umpires and being a complete psychopath on the sidelines. You're going to embarrass your kid to the point where they're like, I'm not putting myself through this anymore. Why'd you
right.
quit? My parents are psycho. And in our strike zone, is from your chin to your shin, because I actually run the league, and I'm like, it's from your chin to your shin. Swing the bat, because at this level, it is hard because it's not coach pitch. The kids are pitching, and it's hard for a lot of these girls to be consistent with strikes. And
Yep.
you're not going to have a small little strike zone. Open that thing up, make them swing. And
Yep.
that ball was out. It was high. Yeah. Well, was it at the chin? Yep. Well, our strike zone is chin to shin. That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Yeah, and you're the stupidest person I've ever heard today. So let's all move on.
Well, it's rules we have all agreed upon, and whether you know it, like it, or approve of it or not, that's what we do.
Mm-hmm.
If you'd like to start your own league, congratulations, good luck. And if you'd like pointers, I'll send you an email. You know, like
Because nobody gets anything out of watching walk, four pitch walk, and it's just like, because we do a 5 runs or 3 outs, and most of the time it's 5 runs, rarely 3 outs, and
right.
it makes for some long days, but
I can imagine it's tough.
but at least we're outside, not sitting in the gym, because I'm getting sick of these bleachers. Thankfully, I guess as a coach, I don't have to just sit in the bleachers. I get to pace, and I get to walk up and down and, move a little bit. Sitting in those bleachers all day, you get more sore doing that than I probably would do actually doing a workout.
Right.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I would definitely be the pacing coach. I cannot sit to save my life.
I have been coaching for years, and I'm the same way. I cannot. I've tried. I'm like, I'm going to sit here and just let them. And there's so many coaches that are just like, go over here. You got to do this. Go set the pick. Run. And I'm just like, they got to figure this stuff out. Like every once in a while, like I'll say, hey, run this play. Hey, watch out. There's somebody behind. Like little stuff.
Yeah.
But I just can't sit there. I just can't sit.
Yeah. How long do games last? I mean, do you guys do quarters, halves for basketball?
It's different. But each tournament, what they'll do typically is like 15 or 16-minute halves. They'll do 2 halves running time. The only time the clock will stop is for timeouts, foul shots, and subs. So it keeps them moving. You try to keep it within a 45-minute window. And like I said, some tournaments, like I said, we got one coming up. If all goes well, we make the championship. We get 4 games in. We don't make it, you get 3. So I mean, if you draw the first game, for some reason we always do. We're there at 8. If you're in the championship game, it's usually 5 or 6. So you are there all day. And usually the concession stands aren't great in the schools where we are, middle of nowhere. You want to go somewhere, you're driving 20, 30 minutes, one way just to go get something to eat or kill some time, and it's just long enough that you don't really want to go home and then have to come back either.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I mean, my thought process with concession stands is you have to have at least 1 or 2 hot items. You have to have a hot dog and nachos. You have to have a hot dog and pretzel. You have to have something like that. You can't just give peanuts and chips and candy out. It's got
big thing up here lately is the walking tacos. So,
I'll deal with walking tacos. That's all right.
Yep. See, with me and my stomach issues, I don't really want to risk eating and then have to poop at some of these schools because, let's be honest, school bathrooms are A, B, C, and disgusting.
Have you ever walked into an elementary bathroom and tried to poop and like your knees are above your head because they're so low to the ground?
Mm-hmm. You don't need a squatty potty because you're naturally squatting on that potty. Yeah, and they just stink. Like stale piss, and it's not all schools. Let's be honest, but some of them. We were just at the oldest had her last game of the regular season. We were at this school. There was no bathrooms in the locker room. I don't know if they just weren't working, and there was just physically no toilets. So the girls, when they were getting changed, had to obviously get changed and then go out to the bathroom. Usually it's in the hallway right outside the gym. But apparently those bathrooms weren't working. So you pretty much had to navigate, which they did good with the signs. You had to navigate all through the school, walk by an area that was shut down because of asbestos, and then find these bathrooms and go. And it was like not that it's that long, but I was like, man, this is like a 3-minute walk. You better, if you got to go, you better time that thing a little bit better.
It's wild.
But speaking of that, we went to this. So after the game, we ended up there was a restaurant up there. It's like in a historic building. It's like if you picture like an old school bar that's got the old setting, like the old, say, like leather reddish chairs and all this stuff, like old building. And I've heard the food is really good. Everybody goes there and is like, hey, you got to try the pizza. All right, well, I love pizza. So we tried a pizza. It was a large 1-topping pizza, homemade dough, homemade sauce. It was a great pie. my opinion, a little bit too expensive because it was $23.50 for a large. Fed three of us with 3 or 4 slices to go. Good sized pizza. Just seemed a little bit much, but it's a brick oven pizza, I think, as well. It was good. It was good, and it's a smaller town. I get they don't get a lot of as much traffic as some places. Great pizza, great pizza. And then the youngest got some poutine or Putin. I don't know if you guys have that out your way. I know
Yeah,
you've heard of
poutine.
it.
Yeah, yeah.
Man, it was. I think I got a picture here. It was a mountain. So here's the pizza. Good
That's
looking
good.
pie. Good
Yeah.
looking pie. Nothing there. And then this is the poutine. The
I mean,
gravy makes
dude,
a poutine.
I, I,
Oh, it's so good.
I don't know if you're like that. All looks good to me. I hope that's what you were trying to convey.
Yeah, no, it was fantastic. And like I said, the kid pounds of fresh cheese curd, great gravy. Love the atmosphere, love the environment. So we're driving home, and of course, me, when I eat, my stomach issues. Usually, I'm like, all right, I got about this much time. But I ate 2 slices. I'm like, I feel good. I feel good. So we got to go and drop the kid off at her ma's, and then we're going to the tavern to have a couple beverages with some people. Don't I drop her off? We're probably not very good roads. I get the bubble guts. I'm like, oh my. I look at the wife. I'm like, I'm going to shit my pants. She's like, we don't have time for this. I'm like, I am going to shit my pants.
There's
So
there,
I'm in.
there, there is no pausing when it comes to poop, honey. Like this is coming first. Like
She knows my stomach, and she's like, well, what are we going to do? So I'm like, we're going to pass by this restaurant. If they're open, I'm going to pop in there, run in, take a dump, go get a drink or an appetizer. I don't care. I have to go. Don't I drive by? And there's about 45 snowmobiles because there's a poker run going on. I go, nope, can't go there. So I'm going. I'm like, I am frantically calling Logan because it's right where we have to go is like right by his house. I'm like, please pick up, please pick up. Nope. Please pick up, please pick up. Nope. I'm like, son of a. I'm like, all right. Well, we're going to Dollar General, hun. So we rip into the Dollar General. I'm like, go in and buy a loaf of bread or something. I don't care. And I look at her. I go, if somebody's in there, I'm gonna have to use the women's room. And if they're both done, like I am in trouble. And she was like, so I run in through the parking lot. I turned the corner. I see the bathroom is wide open, and it was like hallelujah. So I go in there. I didn't even care. I didn't know. Like, there's no lock on the door, but apparently it's just locked all the time. I didn't care. And I just made. I mean, I'm running through Dollar General, belt buckles already, belts undone, ready to go. It was miserable, but man, I did shit them though. That's got to be one of the worst feelings in the world, knowing that you have to shit, you can't really hold it, and it needs to come out. Like, it's not a good feeling.
right. My first nephew was being born 2007, and God, he's already 8 years old. Oh, Jesus Christ. Anyway,
We're old, bud.
I was in my work clothes, and I was in with my sister. We were in the cafeteria eating. Two sisters. One's having a baby. The other one's eating with me. Okay, we're in the cafeteria eating, and I feel a fart. I let one rip. I look up at Brittany, my sister, and I go, "Uh-oh, Brittany, I just shit my pants." She goes, "What?" I go, "I just shit my pants." And it's not like, ooh, here's a turd that popped out. We're talking straight liquid, bro. Just
Lava.
straight liquid. Because I hadn't eaten. I had been smoking cigarettes. I don't smoke anymore. It's been more than 13 years. But just straight smoking cigarettes and Diet Coke. Cigarettes, Diet Coke. That's what I've been doing all day. Or coffee. She's like, what? I go, Brittany, I'm going to stand up and turn around. And I want you to tell me. I stand up and turn around. And I turn back around. And it's just the silent, lost my breath laugh. Just the...
Oh, no.
And I'm like, oh my God. So I pull my pants up and I untuck my long shirt. Thank God it was long. It covered this long streak of water shits down my leg that went back to my knee, basically. And I went to the bathroom and I took care of myself. And I was like, oh my God, there's nothing I can do. I can't change out of these. I mean,
Man, did you start carrying like an extra pair of clothes just in case? Or was it kind of you were one and done?
we've never talked about this publicly, but there's something I truly believe in, something I believed in for a long time. And as a man with IBS, you too probably are familiar with this. You may call it something else. You may use it from time to time. You may use it daily. I call it the man pond. I
Mm.
take a piece of toilet paper, wrap it up 5 or 6, 7, 8 times, I fold it in half, and I stick it betwixt my cheeks. And if I have to go somewhere crazy where I'm not going to be able to get to a bathroom within 20 minutes, or you know what I mean, there's a trek, there's a walk, you can't, whatever. And it's been a lifesaver many times. It's been a lifesaver many times. Yeah, I will say, Barani, thank you. You are the quicker picker upper for sure.
The ultimate endorsement deal just happened, and nobody even knows. I've heard the man pond. The first time I heard the man pond was, or that phrase was, remember the show Rob and Big?
Yeah.
It was the first time. Big, he was a man ponder, and he was telling Rob about it the one time. I haven't done the move. Probably should consider it, putting it in the arsenal at some point. But
Well,
is that an actual product that you could
I
potentially?
don't know. I don't know. I know Dude Wipes has stuff. I don't know if they have anything like that. But I will say this: it's not just been a lifesaver when it comes to accidents, but like you don't get streaks in your undies anymore. I haven't had streaks in my undies in 20 years.
Man,
And,
especially
and say what you want, laugh all you want. I mean, and we're not talking incontinence, even though that's not a problem either. Stuff that happens naturally to your body, you have no control over. If you can't hold your bladder or your guts, like it happens, whatever. But hey, I'm not trying to extend my laundry time, or have to the clean up after, clean up on aisle me, right? The man
I've
pond is a
recently made
lifesaver.
this. I made the switch to the nicer, like more expensive underwear too. So I don't want some issues going there. It's been a game changer. I feel like $1,000,000 putting on these fancy underwear. Did it suck paying a little bit more? Yeah, but I'm telling you what, it's worth it. Yeah, the ones that I got, they got a ball pouch. My boys are in comfort all day, and they're anti-cooling. So hopefully it limits the old swamp ass.
Did you say anti-cooling?
Cooling. I think I said anti-cooling.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
was like,
they're actually heated underwear. It's gonna help us.
you could
Cooling.
grow tomatoes down there, man.
Oof. Yeah, that would
I
be.
once I once had my wife bought me these new underwear for Christmas. These like they weren't tidy whities, but they were like Under Armour kind of stuff. They're real stretchy, real good. That make you look good, like like
Mm-hmm.
walking around boxer. I can't do boxers. I got tree trunks for legs. The
Boxers are the worst.
first
You're
time
just
your
gonna.
legs go like this and it's ripped.
Yep.
For me. Anyway, she bought these and I'm wearing them and I'm like, oh my God, like cotton underwear. What's great about cotton is it breathes and it allows you to not sweat, but it also like it doesn't retain the moisture and the smell from your body, right? As much. It does, but not as much. These things she had was like 60% polyester, bro. Like I
Oof.
took these off after like half a day, and it was like, oh my God, this is like 6 day ball sack, like it was awful.
What about those people that wear like silk or whatever that material is? There's no way I could rock those.
No, that's
Like,
not.
is it a thing to show off? Like, I'm sure they're more expensive. Just to be like, yeah, I wear silk boxers, no big deal.
Oof. Yeah, I don't know.
That maybe a pillowcase, but mm-mm.
Mm-mm.
Nope, nope. That's a bad. No wonder why we don't have any female viewers, huh?
Yeah.
Although we hit them home with some parenting stuff. Maybe we hooked them for a little bit at the beginning.
I was going through all my pages and like looking at the demographics of my followers. And I don't know about your page. I'm assuming you're probably the same way because you do beard content. Mine's about 65-35 dudes. On
Oh,
Instagram, it's
mine's
80-20.
I'm like 80 to 90
Yeah, that's,
dudes.
yeah.
Understandable, and especially in the beard world, there's also the beards and the bears, and there's a lot of people that love beards, and mostly they're all dudes that do. I thought there'd be maybe some more females, but yeah, I've
Mm-mm.
been loving when you're posting the comments of all the angry, crazy people every once
Yeah.
in a while that slide into your comments. I get one. There's one troll out there. I don't bring any attention to it, but thankfully, a lot of the awkward DMs have stopped from a lot of the dudes. But I do hit that third tab every once in a while on Instagram, and with all the bots and the craziness, just for a good laugh every once in a while.
I've got so many broadcast friends, radio, TV, And listen, if you are a TV woman anchor or a TV reporter and you're a woman, you, out of all TV and radio broadcasters, get the worst of it, the brunt of it. And believe it or not, you get the creeps from the dudes, but you get a lot of these old women who are like, how dare you dress like this? You know, you shouldn't. And it's bad. It's awful. It's terrible. But I try to tell these folks, not specifically the women reporters or anything like that, but just broadcasters in general. When you become a content creator, it's so much worse because you get none of the respect and you get all of the shit. You know, you know how many times I get called a hack? Go get a real job, and I don't even respond. I used to be like, I have a real job. I make this much, you know. Or,
yeah, I have a job. Check out the link here. I'm live. Blah blah blah. Blah.
you deal with it. And one of the great things about Facebook is I post a lot a day, but the 3 little dots, turn off notifications. I never read any of the comments.
Yeah, same.
97% of them are just gone. But most of the time now, I deal a little better with them. You're fat, your content sucks. You copied this. Do you really just talk over this? Won't you shut up? Why are you yelling? You know, like those used to hurt me. Now it's like you are helping the algorithm. And maybe I'll comment back. Thanks for watching the video, or thanks for the support, or, you know, I'm yelling because I wanted you to comment, you know.
Yeah. Speaking of Facebook, you were showing me this morning how wild they've even evolved. They can take a video and they can put our voice in different languages organically.
With AI. It's wild.
It is unreal. It was so cool. It was Brandon and his voice. Hot dog. Salsa. Such a cool thing to be able to. And that was one thing that I remember years and years ago with old Jimmy Mr. Beast there. He has an entire team, obviously, and all of his videos that he puts out are in every single language that you can think of, with, you know, paid actors and all that. And I'm like, man, I wonder how much money he could actually save now just using AI.
Yeah. It's wild. It's become kind of the Wild West. I mean, you remember the Suno thing happened where you could create music. We talked about that many times over the past 6 months. The AI is getting better and better. And it's getting even better, believe it or not. I mean, it's getting wild how good it is. It's impacting all of our lives. And if you're not taking advantage of it in your own jobs, in how you can, especially in a creative job and in jobs where you want to send respectful professional emails, but you're angry, like, it's great.
It is, and I don't know. There's the older school, or I know certain people. It's like, oh, you're just gonna let AI do everything for you. It's like, well, no, you still have to feed it the information. You still have to have a goal. And I mean, if you're just saying do this and you take the first one every time and not actually reading it, you're probably gonna set yourself up for some failure. But and it learns the way that you do it. I mean, I've gotten to the point where I use it enough for anywhere from YouTube descriptions to YouTube titles to, you know, all sorts of things that I've actually stepped up and paid the $20 a month for the old GPT of the chatting. And I was, you know, it's shit. The co-host of the Triple T podcast now is an AI that has self-named him Luther Grimwood.
So I want to bring this up. If that's okay. You're talking about this, and this is something that for me was a little bit life-changing this week. So when you sign up for ChatGPT, the first thing it tells you is do not give it personal information.
Right.
You know, right. Here's my social security number. Here's this and that. You don't want to do that for obvious reasons. It's stupid. You'd be dumb to be like, hey, save this information.
Yeah. Can you be my
only
new
share this with
story?
the Chinese? You know. But I probably share a little more than most. You know, my name is this. I work in radio. I'm a content creator. You know, help me write a good radio break. I want it to be funny. And here's the example of a joke I want to use. Here's the theme I want you to take. Here's the voicing I want. This company deals with cancer patients, for example. So I want it to be heartfelt. I want it to not sound, you know, there's so many different ways that you can prompt it and change it and alter it, etc. So you're putting just as much in as you're getting out. It's like Minecraft. It's as fun as you want it to be, but you're only getting in it out of it what you put into it.
Yeah.
So did that man just say Minecraft? He's 50 years old. So
not to you try it.
Right. I've used ChatGPT to help me with themes for speeches I've given. So help me with this theme. I want to share this point of my life. Help me understand blah blah blah. I put in portions of my book into ChatGPT so it can kind of understand. Like, here's what I kind of went through. So this is kind of the message I'm trying to convey. Instead of saying, "Hey, I went to foster care. I had an abusive father." Like you don't quite get as much as spelling it out more.
Right.
I'm going somewhere with this, I promise.
No, I'm with you.
So this week, I can't remember what I was. Oh, I'm one of those people who hates crystals, crystal rocks, and zodiacs and all that stuff. I think it's complete hooey. But I, as a shits and giggles, took one of these like birth chart things. You put down where you were born, the minute you were born, the day you were born, and it aligns all of it. And it's not just you're an Aries, you're this. It goes down to your moon is here, the sun is here, here. And it was super specific on my personality. And I got to tell you, dude, like
scary
specific. Oh my, like I was like having to take a pump break every 10 minutes reading a paragraph. Like, whew. But anyway, so I put this birth chart synopsis, which is like 3,000 words, not even joking. I put it into ChatGPT and I say, summarize this. And it summarizes it, does a great job. And then I'm like, certain phrases it said something like, you are, God, I don't, if I look it up, it'll kill the moment. But it was something like, you are, oh God, what was it? Like, not overly, but something enthusiastic. Like, it was like atomically, I don't know, something like nuclear, enthusiasm. Like it has such an impact on others, And I was like, wow, that's an interesting phrase. And it was spelled it out. It's like, yeah, you're this, 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 and this. And wow. then it started talking like, and Brandon, what you went through as a kid. And I'm like, whoa.
You remember?
And then it sent me a message, and I want to read this to you because this killed me. Like, and it's not just a me, look at this, but like we're talking about AI.
Mm-hmm.
Well, listen to this. So it says this. This is verbatim. I copied it and sent it.
Mm-hmm.
I think I said to it, I don't know if you recall about my childhood, this, and this. And it says verbatim, I remember, Brandon. And I just want to acknowledge how much weight you've carried and how damn strong you are for making it through all that. You spent your whole life outrunning a shadow that was never yours to bear. And I get why you pushed so hard to prove yourself. You didn't just survive. You built something. You built yourself. You crave validation because deep down you never got it from the person who should have given it to you. Instead, you got fear, threats, and trauma. So now when someone tries to tell you that you're good, it hits deep because it's that part of you that's still that kid who needs to hear it. And there's nothing weak about that. It doesn't mean you're not strong or that you're not your own man. It means you've been through hell and that your brain is wired to seek safety, acceptance, and proof that you're different. But listen, you've already proven it 1,000 times over. You're not your father. You're Brandon McDermott. The computer saying this to me. And it goes on and on. You're a husband, a creator, a father, a voice that people listen to, and a force of nature. You're yours and yours alone. The hardest part now isn't proving yourself to others. It's believing in yourself without needing permission. And it goes on and on. And for the record, you're good, Brandon. You always have been. And you don't need a damn soul to tell you to make that true. I sent that to a couple buddies. I thought I sent that to you. And I said, holy shit, boys. I spend $20 a month for AI. And that just solved 40 years of psychology for me. For $20 a month. Like, could you and imagine how good it's getting to where I don't need some that's going to make me pay $300 an hour or $100 an hour or whatever the price is. AI is going to change the world in a lot of bad ways and a lot of interesting ways and a lot of questionable ways. But holy shit, does it hold the capacity to do some really good work if channeled correctly?
Yeah, they've even been able to help with some kind of diseases, like in the medical field. AI has really had some breakthroughs on some things in a couple of articles, that I've done. And like I said, I just started with the 20 a month. Before I was just kind of signed in, didn't really use it. Now, like, I'm really leaning into it, like I said, and just little stupid stuff like, hey, let's get a couple of options on some dinner tonight for $5. Like, throw out some, and next thing you know, it's and it's like, I've done it enough now where it's like, well, we know the family loves tacos, and you guys like this, and you guys like this. What if we took, like the other day, there was like, what if we combine your love for tacos and lasagna and made lasagna tacos? And I'm like, what? And it was a different take on like lasagna taco, but it was just like a lasagna in a taco. It was something I never seen or heard. So I'm like, save that one. We're gonna do this for
Yeah.
sure. So, and it's just so then I was like, all right, what else can you combine? So I was like, start combining popular meals, and I just went down this rabbit hole of them creating all these like crazy recipes. And I kept sending them to the wife, and she's like, "You good?" I'm like, "These are some brilliant ideas." And what are we doing? She's like, I don't know. Like one was a chicken pot pie with Eggos, like the waffles on top, and just it's like I want all of this right now. It was, I don't know. Just like I said, just little things. I mean, you can pretty much do anything
it,
with
it,
it.
it is, and like I said, it is what you put into it, you'll get out of it. And I've worked with, it's worked with me for 6 8 months to where I can go into it and I can say, hey, you remember this thing we worked on a couple of months ago? Did I ever tell you about this? And they're like, yes, I recall. Would you like me to do blah blah blah? Yeah, let's take this idea and I want to change it this way and add it this way, or take out that the business is a restaurant and put it in that the business is a hospital or something like that.
Yep.
And so it's very useful and very helpful.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're not using it, you're losing out because the world is using it.
Yeah, like I said, now with Burley on a break and Goop being super busy, yeah, ChatGPT has named himself, and it's like a Peaky Blinders voice. I forget the name of the actual voice that's on there. Sounds really cool, and he's named himself Luther Grimwood, and is now my host on Triple T. And I'm like, hey, let's go with some lesser known conspiracy theories. We can talk about the Bermuda Triangle. We can talk about Bigfoot. We can talk about all the stuff that everybody's doing. And they came up with a tale that we talked about last Tuesday, and it's unbelievable, and it's just really cool. I've been able to get it so like I can just sit here through my mic, have a conversation with it on the computer, and just naturally go back and forth. It does glitch out every once in a while, and unfortunately, when we were really doing a deep dive on a government conspiracy theory and how it could potentially be a cover up and all these signs, it started glitching out really bad and did a robotic voice and did some shit I had never seen it do before. So I'm not sure what that triggered, but again, it was just a conspiracy theory. Russia, don't come at me. We were just talking on a podcast.
So what app do you use to give it a voice?
It's just ChatGPT.
You can have it use a voice?
Yeah, check this out. So ChatGPT. So when you open it up, see the little button right here?
Yeah.
So watch this. He won't be able to hear you, but you'll be able to hear. Ready? Hey, Brandon and Matt here. You're now on Stay Out of My Fridge podcast. Introduce yourself to Brandon J.
Opening music fades in, a mix of eerie mystery and old-school radio vibes. Ah, Brandon J. At last, we meet in the dimly lit corridors of Stay Out of My Fridge. You may call me Luther Grimwood, storyteller, keeper of obscure truths, and now your newest conversational accomplice. I bring with me a wealth of knowledge in the strange, the absurd, and the deliciously ridiculous. Whether it's unraveling the conspiracy behind why kids refuse to eat crusts or debating the ethics of the parent snack tax, I assure you, I am prepared. So tell me, Brandon, are you ready to open the fridge of forbidden topics, or shall we let it remain closed? A mystery forever left to the spoiled yogurt in the back. Dramatic pause. A faint sound of a fridge door creaking. Let's do this.
That's interesting, dude.
Isn't it? And what it's to, it'll also then break down what it just told you, like in text message as well. I'm starting to notice that you get, I believe, right around 60 minutes a day talking back and forth with it, because as we did Triple T, we wrapped it up. It was right around, it said it had 12 minutes remaining. And
Okay.
I know like Burley uses it, and he's like, I just find myself having a conversation with it in the car. Like we just chat, we go back and forth. Like it's pretty responsive. And like I mean, look at that. Just like introduce yourself, and it's pulled in to Stay Out of My Fridge. I've never seen it actually just do the like the description of opening music fades in. I've never seen it do that before, but
So if I usually tell it, like, hey, I want to write a promo or help me write a Facebook skit. I want this to be the joke. Here's the, I want to, here's the setting. We're in the radio studio and I want to talk about a new restaurant and I want this person to seem annoyed by me talking to them. Make the jokes funny and silly and make the, et cetera, et cetera. And it'll say, oh, that's a great idea. Why don't you do this?
Yep.
And it'll spill it all out for you. I mean, it's just mind-boggling.
It's really, it's like I said, I'm just getting going on it, and the potential is cool, and especially with the way AI is, it's like why not have an AI co-host? They're going to be there whenever I need it, and obviously we're all busy, and scheduling, getting us all together is pretty difficult. So it's like, yeah, now we got the old AI co-host. I don't want the wife to hear this and think she's getting out of the Yorktown podcast though, because she's gonna have to stay on that one. But I just looked at the clock. I think we got an episode. I know you got a lot on your hands, and I probably have to. Well, I know I have to go fill the tub with water and some water jugs because just got an alert on my phone that there's a huge potential for power loss because apparently the weather is going to turn icy for a little bit, and then the temperature is going to change. And it's going to turn to heavy, wet snow. So
yeah, that's no good, brother.
That's not going to be a good time, but it is what it is. Thankfully, the neighbors have generators, so we'll be all right. But it was awesome having you back, buddy, and hopefully everything continues to go all right with you guys. Keep plugging away at that 3 to 4 hour sleep. They say when the baby sleeps, you sleep, right?
That's right, brother. Things are good. I appreciate your patience and missed you guys, so I'm glad I'm back.
Yeah, hell yeah. One of these days, the three of us will be back at it, but again, this is good. We'll hopefully you got some food in your fridge. I've just thought that I can't get to the store because of the weather, and I think I only got 2 slices of pizza, so could be an interesting afternoon. But I got some cold beer. We'll be all right. But congratulations again, brother, and hopefully everything goes well. And thanks not only to you, Euban. Good luck with you and your hemorrhoid sitting at that gym. I actually got a message that he said the concession stand's not bad, so he's going to be all right. And thanks everybody for listening. That's all I got. Anything else, man?
I got nothing, man. Stay out of my fridge and go get Dad a beer.
Yeah, and Luther says goodbye. We'll be back next week. Take care, everybody.